Hi, so I'm just continuing a new video off of the end of the last vlog, which was and if you're new here and you didn't watch that video, then welcome. Um, I think, jet lagged. I'm feeling like so sleepy. I woke up this morning at 7, which is not too crazy. It's not like waking up at 4 or something. 7 is a normal hour, I feel like, for a human to wake up. But no, earlier than I normally wake up. And took Jacob, my dog, to the dog park and had a nice morning. That's the only, like, upside of having jet lag is it reminds me how much I actually enjoy mornings, early mornings. Such a nice hour to be awake. I remember even when he was really a puppy and I would have to wake up at like 5 or 5:30 in the morning. Like the moment that I would open my eyes, I would be suffering. But then the moment I would step outside and walk in the world at that hour, it would just be actually super lovely. The light is gorgeous. It's quiet at that time. So yeah, I'm enjoying. This happened to me last time I came back to New York, that I was jet lagged and my mornings were quite early. So we did that, and then I went and got a bagel, and then chatted a bit with a friend, and then I'm now back home. It's 2 p.m. and I feel like it's time to go to bed. Like nap time is arriving. But I have been watching some booktube, and yeah, just wanted to like start a clip for a new video and we'll see where it goes. I just uploaded a vlog about the 2 books I read last week, so if you want to check that out, I'll link it somewhere here. So I'm reading My Men by Victoria Kieland, translated from the Norwegian. This is what the inside cover looks like. Translated from the Norwegian by Damien Searles. This is published by Astra House. And it is following a story of America's first female serial killer. So this is based on a true story, but I think, yeah, highly fictionalized, but based on a real woman who was America's first serial killer, female serial killer. So the book opens up in what year? 1876. Our main character named Brynhild. Basically, she is working on a farm, and she's having this sexual relationship with the firstborn male on that farm. She calls him firstborn, and she's in love with him. I think is she 17? I think she's 17. Or maybe I made that up, but she's young. The female young character from the last book that I read was 17, so now I'm worried that I'm mixing it up. But anyway, she has this relationship with this man, and it goes very violently. And she decides to leave Norway and take a boat for 2 weeks across to America. So she arrives in New York, and then she goes to live with her sister, who's living in Chicago on Lake Michigan. So this is a historical fiction, not a genre I find myself reading a lot of. She changes her name when she gets to America to Bella. I'm only a third of the way through, so there has been no killing yet. She's not a serial killer yet. But you do feel... This book is super violent already, though. The style of this book, I don't know if I love it. it feels a bit overwritten to me, and also feels kind of repetitive in a way that I don't need it to be. Like it kind of keeps cycling back to certain sentences or certain things that I'm like, oh, I don't really need like that again, or that to keep coming back necessarily. This character of Bella is just like super broken and super hurt. And there's an incident with the man, firstborn, the man from the farm in Norway, that is so horrifying. And then she goes back to live with her parents and then makes her way to America. So now where I am in the book, she's just kind of like living with her sister. She has this like feeling of doom all the time. Doom all the time. This sense of heaviness, darkness. She's very unhappy. She has like crazy anxiety. She's very traumatized, and she's sort of is questioning a lot about God, like, and like, who is she supposed to be, and why are these things happening to her, and what went wrong, like why, like what did she do to deserve these like events in her life so far, and this hardship, and she goes to church with her sister and her sister's kids, and she is just sort of like, everything looks good, like I'm living with family. Lake Michigan is so beautiful. She feels like America is like the land of opportunity and all these things, but she is so deeply, deeply disturbed. That's kind of like where I'm at. It's quite intense. It's quite intense from the first page. In my opinion, a little bit overly descriptive for my taste. I kind of wish with this kind of content that things were a bit more dry, and it's not dry. It's very like not ornamental, but just, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. But so far the men in her life have been absolutely horrific. Kind of coming out of last week's 2 books about rage, I would say that this falls in that category. The sky was so big and melting out there, like a soft piece of dark blue silk, much too soft, utterly unbearable. This is like kind of the way that things are described, like very, like soft blue silk, like utterly unbearable, like things that are very emphasized. It's like emphasized language. The darkness opened like a drop of milk. Sorry, not a drop of milk. The darkness opened like a drop of ink in a glass of water. It spread silently, filling her all the way up to the edge of her eyelids until not a single thought was left. A lot of like simile, metaphor. He remained inside her like a constant inflammation. Love had killed all it could. And then this is kind of her reflecting on being in the States, in America. You need to find yourself in your surroundings before you can find yourself within yourself. But no matter how beautifully the mist settled over the lake at dusk or dawn, or how gently the waves or mussels sang within her, it was pure dumb luck that she didn't take everything she had patched together and rip it to pieces. The hot, muggy air swelled above the water. Like everything is very, like luscious in a way that like exhausts me a little bit, to be honest. Not enough to like DNF. I'm still curious and I like things about it. So that's at least the first book of the video. I don't know where this journey will take us. I'm gonna read for a little bit, and then fall asleep probably. I'm going to a film tonight with a friend. We're gonna go see Weapons, this like horror film. It's been a really long time since I've like gone to a movie theater and watched a scary movie. I was obsessed with horror films when I was young, like absolutely obsessed. And I kind of fell out of that, and I feel like definitely more sensitive to horror films. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Oh, suddenly. Definitely more hypersensitive to horror films like as an adult. Um, but it's fun sometimes to go and get scared. And as long as you're with friends, and we're gonna go to Nighthawk Cinema here in Brooklyn, where you can like eat dinner and have drinks. So it should just be like a very fun night with Candace, who maybe some of you watch her. I'll put her channel downstairs. If you like the photo booth type of videos like this, you would probably enjoy the format of her videos. And yeah, we're really close, and I haven't seen her since I got back to New York. So we're gonna go see the movie tonight. That's all for now. Catch you soon. What is that? What is that? What is that? No? I was sitting down to start recording something and talk to you, but now I'm preoccupied. I have been recruited. My hands have been recruited. I just washed him, so he smells like a really good smelling puppy. Yes, a puppy, my puppy. Good morning. It is Sunday. It's a very rainy, kind of gray, very autumn Sunday. So the weather is changing officially. We have soundtrack by Jacob. He's having his bone. So I have book club in about 2 hours online with Katie James, who just made a new video. It's really cute, fun, funny, and just her always immaculate, gorgeous vibes. So I'll link that downstairs so you can watch it. But we're meeting on Zoom for her book club, so it kind of got me in like the mood of just book and talking about books, like anticipating chatting with the group about The Fawn by Magda Szabo, which I really enjoyed. If you missed the last video, I'll put it somewhere on the screen, or you can go check it out if you want to see. I talk about The Fawn in that video. And then I started My Men, the Norwegian book. But then I suddenly felt like something about the language, the style was just not vibing with me. Like, I don't know if it's just not right now or just it's not totally a match. So I set that aside and I read Audition by Katie Kitamura, which I read in one day, or like maybe 2 sittings, like maybe 2 days. I'll go get it so I can at least show you the cover. Okay. I also grabbed my current read and my coffee. Good morning. It's been 2 days now that I've been out at the club late in the evening. I don't know what's come over me, like some kind of party monster has been woken from slumber. So only got like a little bit of time here in New York. I leave again on Monday to travel for 3 weeks. And so basically I'm just like in and out of New York, like 1 week here, then somewhere for a week or 2 weeks, and I come back for a week. So this week in New York, I've been resting, reading, and going out dancing with friends in the evening. So it's been very nice. I'm a little tired. Audition, Katie Kitamura. This is my first Katie Kitamura, and this is up for the Booker this year. I've always been attracted to Katie Kitamura's writing, like A Separation. I really want to read, and I remember when that first came out, or there was a period where people on BookTube were also talking about that book. It really seemed like a book that I would like, and Intimacies I actually don't know anything about. So I was very curious to read Audition, and luckily, like, there was an available copy on at my library, so I devoured this book. My friend Candace, who also makes videos here, she did not like this book. We're having beef over this book. We thought maybe that we should film a video where we fight about it. But I absolutely loved it. I was not disappointed. I was not let down. I do want to bring back like monthly reading wrap-ups. So I feel like when I speak a lot about a book in a vlog, then like those videos become slightly irrelevant because I kind of already talked about them. So maybe I'll save like a fuller review for just a wrap-up video. But starting off the month of September, are you okay? Can you not choke, please? Oh my God. Starting off September with this book was a very good beginning. Just from the first moment, the beginning of this book is particularly very strong. And Katie Kitamura is like has a very specific style and way of telling this story. It's about an actress who's married, and she has done some films. She's kind of quite like well known, and when you meet her, she's preparing for like a very big play. I assume that this book takes place in New York. Oh, it does take place in New York. Yeah, she talks about like living in the West Village, so it's in New York. And one day at work, she meets this young man who approaches her at the theater and claims to be her son. He read in an article that she gave up a child. This young man believes that maybe she's his mom, and they have like kind of a striking similarity between them. So this book is in 2 parts. The style, the way she writes, I just vibe with. Like, it is just so interesting. She takes a very long time to say something. Like, she can say what she would say in 1 sentence in 4 sentences. And normally I like when things are much pared down, like do less, like do more with less, get to the point, like sharp. But this felt like something between. Like, I felt the language that she used and the way she described things had like a very razor sharp energy to it, but like it's also a bit like elusive and going around and taking like many sentences to arrive to the thought or arrive to the sentence, the main sentence. But I like just enjoyed the journey. Like, it didn't feel overwritten to me. I liked the kind of like avoidance, really similarly to The Fawn by Magda Szabo, which is also about an actress. I think I just really love generally the theme of like reading about the theater, reading about performance, like what is performance? This is all about like, how do we perform in our lives? Okay, I'm giving you like the full review basically now. I loved it. I really loved it. It's in 2 parts, and in the middle, like in the beginning of the second part, we switch something. Something is like changed in the sort of, not like POV necessarily, but like the roles that everyone plays are like different, and it's not explained, but that I wasn't bothered by that. And it kind of like goes sort of weird, strange places towards the end, but I was really here for it. Like I really loved this. It was very gripping. It finished and I was like, wow, that was great. Really recommend Eleanor's review of this book. The Only Real Property, that's her name on YouTube, and she has a review on this, and she does a really, really great job. I mean, she's just incredible. I love to hear anything that she has to say about books. But she does a really great job in that video of speaking about this book without spoiling it, because there is like the book kind of functions on how it flips things and how it twists things. So it's really hard to speak about the book without like revealing that part. And she does a really wonderful job of just dissecting Katie Kitamura's writing and the experience of this, and it's about motherhood, and I think it's very interesting. It's a very interesting angle on motherhood in the canon of like moms that are artists books that we have now. Eleanor really speaks about how this adds to that kind of new canon, but like in a very like specific way. And I thought that was super interesting. Big fan of this. Candace, you can fucking fight me. Put your boxing gloves on. I highly recommend. I was gonna read with Candace Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I have never read anything of hers. Yellowface did not really appeal to me. And Babel, I also just, yeah, I felt like maybe it's a genre that's not for me. Like, I don't know, I just didn't, and they're big books. So we decided like maybe we would read that together, and I was really interested that it's sort of like a dark academia fantasy that like is a retelling of Dante's Inferno, and I'm all about that. But it's a $35 hardback, which first of all, I was like, how I cannot afford that. And the other thought I had was like, as a physical object, if I'm gonna read a very, very thick book, it needs to be soft cover. If it's hardcover, I just don't want to hold it. I don't mind hardcovers if they're thin or like a medium size, but a big, thick book, hardcover, it just does not make me want to hold the book in my hand. And if I'm not attracted to it as an object, I will absolutely never read it. Currently, my library has a waiting list of like 40 weeks or something, so I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. Or wait for, you know, whenever it comes out in paperback. So, yeah, but then I got like into reading like a big long book, and my other friend Alex is reading The Colony by Annika Norlin. You just hit me with your tail. Did you know that? Did you know that you just did that? Yeah. Your mom would be so angry at you that you're eating that toy on the bed. I get to be the good cop when Ohad, my partner, is away. So this is translated from the Swedish by Alice E. Olsen. And so I was really attracted to this book. I love the cover. The Colony sounds really interesting. I love the fly, or sorry, it's not a fly, it's an ant. This is published by Europa. And yeah, Alex said that he started reading it and it was really interesting, and I normally really vibe with Scandinavian literature. Oh, if you've been following my last video, you know that I'm using my daily tarot card as my bookmark. So today is Six of Swords. So we're in the air, the element of air. I had a full week of wands cards, like very fire wands, creative energy. Like I got almost all of the suit in like 6 days straight, which was quite strange and overwhelming. But today we have switched to the swords. Why are there no page numbers? I think I'm on page 117 out of like almost 400. Yeah, 400. So I'm like a fourth. So we're following our main character named Emily. She's living in a very busy major metropolis city. I would assume in Sweden, maybe it's Stockholm or something like that, like a bigger city. And she's working a lot of temporary jobs. She's kind of like a temp. So she has like many jobs. She's always looking for something permanent. Everyone is always like promising her from these jobs that she takes that they will become permanent. They never do. And she's just living like the hustle life. And she just experiences a major burnout, like really hits major fatigue, really like a burnout. She can't function. She can't leave the bed for 5 days. Her neighbor, who finally actually like enters her house and makes sure that she's okay because she's just in there for days. And that woman also speaks with Emily about experiencing burnout. And so she takes her to the countryside and says, like, I think that you should be in nature because the city is not doing good for you. So she goes with her out to the nature, and then she realizes that it does help her to be kind of without society, to light a fire, to be in nature. So she starts going like back and forth. She eventually just decides that she's gonna stay. And while she's there, she encounters like a mysterious group of people who seem to be like a little, a colony, like a small, what she thinks could be like, is it a cult? Like she's looking at them and observing them and sort of trying to understand, like, none of these people have anything like by looks in common. They're all like different ages, different looking people. Like, what would bring this specific group together? And they're doing these like rituals where they go in the river together and they bathe each other and they light fires and they dance. And she's like kind of just observing their way of living, and she's very captivated, and she's trying to understand like who they are and why are they here and what do they have in common, like what's the thread that brought them. The book is told in many perspectives, so at each chapter you'll get the name of the person. So you're going between the people of the colony, this group of people, and then you also have Emily, and it's also going back in time. So you have like present day, like 2023. So she's starting to kind of go inside. I assume she will join the colony, but I'm not sure. You have 3 sections. A bunch of sand just came out of this book because I took it to the beach. Like 1970 to 1998, 2003 to 2008, 2008 to 2023. So you sort of also like go with each character backwards and see how they ended up at the colony and joining this sort of living off the grid lifestyle. And the character that Emily has met first is the youngest person in the colony, a boy, my hair looks crazy, I don't know, 17 or something, who seems to like have, I don't know, either never lived in like normal society or doesn't remember it, but he's sort of like the one from the group that doesn't have a reference of like what the outside world looks like. And so she meets him and they're like very fascinated by each other. You know, he's kind of looking at her like, oh, she's been conditioned by all the things that my colony has told me is sort of like wrong about the world, like, so we should invite her in and like try to help her. And she's kind of looking at him like there's this strange 17-year-old who clearly has never been to a city, has never really lived among people, like has kind of been hidden away from humanity other than the other people in the colony. If you like cult cults, I feel like this would be interesting for you. What is the line between like dangerous cult and like really beautiful communal living? Yeah, and I like that the chapters for the most part are quite short. That helps me with long books. If a big thick book has really long chapters, I'm just more likely to kind of lose it in the middle. And this kind of keeps switching perspectives and people. Kind of reminds me of how The Morning Star by Knausgaard functions, like sections really with each character, and so you're sort of getting like many angles of the full picture. That's my current read. I'm really enjoying it. I look forward today to like drinking coffee and maybe getting like another fourth of the way through this. Hi, I just finished book club Zoom meeting with Katie and the group. We talked about the fun. It was so nice, so lovely. At the end, we were like, oh, I feel so, like, that's so nice. I think I've edited most of this video together and it's already over half an hour, which no problem. We like long form on this channel. But I think probably if I wanted to like keep the vlog going until I finish this, it would just probably sit in the editing room for a while because I'm not sure I'm gonna finish this that quickly. So I think I will just finish the video here. So September has been a very good start with the reading. As soon as I put down that book that I wasn't really like vibing with, I think it's important for me sometimes to like act quickly on that. Like if it's not working, just like act quickly, like put it down and pick something else up. So I'm glad I did that, but September reading is off to a good start. I leave to travel again for 3 weeks tomorrow, so I also have to get myself up from my computer and like clean and do laundry and like do all the things that you do when you are leaving, and we have someone to come watch Jacob. So yeah, I'm gonna go get on with my responsibilities, Sunday responsibilities. Yeah, this is really interesting. I mentioned it in the book club now. This seems to be a book that like most people haven't seen or heard of. So I'm putting it on your radar because I think it's interesting. Thank you for watching and joining. Say goodbye to this happy tummy. Oh, probably the next video will be like an August wrap up. I'm wondering if I just want to wrap up the books that I have read recently, or if to add like other things, like general things I enjoyed in the month. Also just as a way for me to kind of, I don't know, I've been slightly in the mood lately where I feel myself complaining about a lot of things, and I feel like I'm not looking at and being grateful for all that I have as much as I could be, as much as I would like to be. So I also wonder if like a kind of wrap up video of the month, like in terms of reading, but also just about other experiences, like things that I've read, watched, listened to, also just things that I've thought about, things that I've written down, art that I've seen, or something like that, like maybe would also kind of, for me, I would take a moment to reflect. Yeah, sometimes you get lost in like thinking about things that you don't have, or the lack of things, or looking forward at like a bit of a blurry, future, and you forget like all that you are doing and going through and thinking about and learning. So maybe I'll find some kind of format for myself to audit those things. Okay, bye. Enough chat. See you next time.